Dzień dobry. Hola. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ni hao ciao. Hope you're having a good day today. And welcome if it's your first time here. Thanks for joining us. It's Ken at 10. Because it's 10, I'm Ken. And we are James Alexander Estate Agents. We're based in Southwest London, Norbury to be precise. And we sell and let properties here. And it's a busy time right now, as you might have heard. Lots of people buying, lots of people selling, lots of new instructions coming onto the market as well. So that's quite good because it's balancing things out a bit. It's not just about the sellers, there is a balance with buyers coming in as well. So lots to talk about second lockdown, which would be frustrating, wouldn't it? Hopefully that won't come around. The weather here in Norbury today is very wet, but we're still thinking of going out and doing some videos purely because we want to make sure we're ahead of the game when it comes to actually making sure our properties can be shown, even if virtually. And yeah, apart from that, the market still seems to continue apace. We've got gazumping going on, which is always frustrating, I know. I always bear in mind that, as agents, we do work for the sellers and our job is to get the maximum possible price. I know that can be frustrating if you're a buyer, and sometimes it can be upsetting. That would never be our intention. We always want the experience to be as enjoyable as possible. But unfortunately, sometimes when there's lots of competition for a particular property, you do end up in a kind of best and final situation where everyone's bidding against each other, and sometimes above the asking price now. It's more common than ever. We've got one at the moment, two great buyers, really nice people, and the client wants them to go best and final. They want as much money as they can get, and they have to compete if they want it. But that is the nature of the game, I'm afraid. So apart from that, we are looking at a number of new inspections today on properties, and mostly across a range of flats, actually. And it's interesting, it seems to go in fits and starts. We've had a lot of property in the sort of 600 to 900K range valuations, and now we seem to be getting a lot of flat valuations through. And obviously flats, completely different animal. We need to look at all sorts of different things, such as the lease length, service charge, and ground rent. And it's something I know a lot of buyers worry about, I'd rather have a freehold. And in London, it's not generally possible to buy a freehold property if you're a first-time buyer, because it's just so expensive, frankly. In our area, two-bedroom freehold houses start from about 350,000. Typically, they're 375 to 400, and so it's quite a lot for a first-time buyer to find, isn't it? And hopefully, with a new first-time buyer scheme that Boris is suggesting is going to happen, we might have some positive news on that. As many of you will know that watch regularly, I am a little anxious that it will be another scheme which allows developers to make a profit on the backs of first-time buyers. And this has been common over the years. They come out with these schemes where first-time buyers can have low or zero deposits, but only if they buy a brand new property. Well, that often means they're paying a premium for the brand new property. The developers will always whack on another premium if there's a special incentive for the buyers involved in that, wiping out any advantage that they had. And I find that very frustrating. I'm hoping that they're going to come out with something that offers a 95% mortgage and at competitive rates. I was speaking to our broker yesterday, the lovely Emily, many of you will know, and she's a lovely person. And we were both saying it just doesn't seem fair that first-time buyers are paying such punitive rates of interest when they've got 15% deposit. 15% deposit, they consider that not a lot of money. We're talking about, 40, 50K in most cases or more. It's a huge amount of money, isn't it? And yet lenders see this as insignificant in the scheme of their risk. And I think they're wrong. And I also think that, more importantly, they need to recognize, as we all do, that the key to unlocking good flow in the market is getting first-time buyers to buy. Because when that clogs up, then the sellers of the flats can't sell. And so it knocks up the chain and the whole market kind of gets blocked up. So really important, the first-time buyers. Critical we get it right. Hopefully, we'll also get an extension of stamp duty. A lot of calls for that this week. I see in the press a lot of estate agency groups are saying, look, there are lots of buyers that are worried that they won't quite meet that deadline. And I think that's a real risk now. The longer you leave it, if you're thinking of selling, the more chance there is that you'll miss it. So, some people are saying, don't bother going January. And I would say that's absolutely a mistake. It doesn't give you enough time to find a buyer and make sure that the conveyance goes through, especially if you're in a leasehold property, where it can take a little bit longer because we're at the mercy of things like managing agents and inquiries from them. And by the way, if you have a managing agent you're thinking of selling, make sure you approach them early and pay whatever fee they charge. They usually charge a fee of a few £100s to answer inquiries. And this can be a real logjam. And what I mean by that is when you're selling the property, the buyer's solicitors will actually contact the other side and say, can you provide the service charge information? And there's a standard questionnaire that goes to the managing agent, but they'll only answer it if they've already been paid. So good tip for you. If you've got a flat and you're looking to sell, make sure you get ahead of the game, speak to your managing agents, ask what the fee is, pay it, and tell them to expect the inquiries. So that will give you a bit of a head start, because that typically is where some of the log jams can come from in that particular part of the process. Of course, there are other log jams as well at the moment, particularly with surveys. Surveyors are really busy. You know, I was speaking to a guy the other day who's booked up until November now, the end of November already. Then we've got lenders. A lot of lenders are dragging their heels, and that's frustrating as well. So yeah, if you're looking to move, get on it early is my advice. We're all hopeful that the government will turn around and say, actually, they'll extend or taper the deadline. Ideally, I'd like to see them extend it for another year. And I think that would be really good for the market and for the economy. You know, we need a kickstart, we need a boost, and the stamp duty holidays really help with that. And it really seems to have lifted mood as well, certainly in our industry. And it's lovely to be busy. As much as we're all ran off our feet, we're not complaining. You know, we know that this is temporary and we have to make hay while the sun shines so we can protect our businesses and our staff and their livelihoods, frankly. So glad to say we're really busy. Hopefully it will continue. If you need any advice or help, whether or not you're in our area, you know we love talking property, you're always welcome to call us, whatever channel you're watching us on. And I hope you have a great day. That's it from us today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Look after yourselves and your families. I'll be back tomorrow with another Ken at 10. Stay safe and well.